Everybody, being 5:01, we'll open the Planning Committee meeting of the 29th of March. Start off with, we have Councillor Basalt, we have Councillor Loberger, Alderman Bloomfield, Councillor Kelly, Councillor Dudder, Councillor Harvey, the Deputy Lord Mayor, Councillor Sherlock and myself. Are there any confirmation of minutes? Does anybody want to move that? Councillor Dudder, all those in favour say aye. Again say no. No. Consideration of supplementary. No. Any indications of pecuniary or conflicts of interest? Speak now, forever hold your peace. No. Very good. For consideration of items with deputations. Don't have any. Very good. Okay, we'll move to committee acting as a planning authority. 6.1.1 220 Waterworks Road. Councillor Dudder. Any comment or questions?
Can I just ask one question about the existing infrastructure?
Councillor Basalt.
Thank you. The existing fire trail access to the bottom of Gentislating Falls, that is being rehabilitated and not retained, is that correct?
I need to take that one on notice. Sorry, the one question.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have a response to that.
That's fine.
Any other
immediate response?
Any other comment or questions?
Well, how do we make a decision if we don't have that valuable information?
Just bear with me. I'll just go through the plan.
I think my interpretation, if it's of help, my interpretation is that it is being rehabilitated into bushland. But I wanted to confirm that. But I will read the plan in detail, if that's helpful to the Deputy.
In the meantime, did anybody have any comment or questions while the director's looking for that valuable information?
Look, what I will say, Karen's looking for that. I think from a planning perspective, it's reasonably straightforward. There were some issues around land stability, and we've progressively worked through those. This will result in achieving a green, what's called green rating path in terms of grade from waterworks through to the the actual pipeline track. So it will improve access for prams and bikes and the like immeasurably. So it's a really a good outcome for access to this Genoa Annie Falls and beyond. So we're very keen to have this infrastructure improvement achieved. I can say that much. So, but in terms of the question of rehabilitation, just bear with me.
Not this disturbed trackside areas that would be rehabilitated by transplanting, seeding and spreading of local organic matter. Does that answer your question? From the track construction note?
I think on page 44 may be of use to people, if that's through you, Chair, which is the map. My knowledge of the area is that the rehabilitation green stripe is the existing fire trail, but without it being clearly marked, it's hard to know.
Sorry, what was the question? What are you looking for? The detail.
Rehabilitation of the existing fire trail, which is the access point to the bottom of Gentle Annie. There's Gentle Annie Falls track.
What about it?
Is this okay?
Yeah.
Through your chair. I want to know what's happening to the existing fire trail, confirming whether or not it's being kept or if it's being rehabilitated back to bushland.
Page 14 says it's actually got a realignment of its bits of construction, so it could
Yeah, and that's if you go to the page 44 through you again, Chair. Page 44 shows the map, and the GPS alignment on the right of the map, the squiggly one, is my reading of the new realigned trail, and the green trail is my reading of the existing fire trail being rehabilitated.
Look, Chair. Look, I've got the officer responsible for this application coming along, and he can answer any questions. So he's 5 minutes away. So if you want to defer this matter,
We'll move on to the other items and come back. Or we just move on and come back to it? Deferring it just within the meeting.
Move a motion to defer it till after the next item.
Councillor Ladbrake, all those in favour say aye. Guess say no. Okay, we'll move on to 6.1.2. I'll note that there's been a request that the item be deferred so that the applicants can consider the notes of the officer's recommendation. So we've got a motion to defer by the Deputy Lord Mayor. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
No. Carried. We'll move on to 7.1, planning advertised application. Ms. Amy.
Thank you, Chair. The most significant application on the list tonight is item number 15, which is 6 multiple dwellings which are being built by the Salvation Army as crisis accommodation.
Very good. And Creek Road.
For you, Chair, is that part of the existing site that Salvo's run up there?
Yes, that's my understanding. It's in front of the existing facility.
That's sort of extras because there's already accommodation there, isn't there?
That's correct, through you, Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions or comment? Just having a look myself. What's number 3? Planning application for additional aircraft.
Yes, I was going to say.
That item was for an additional aircraft use for the existing facility at I can't remember the name of the Seaplanes. That application has been approved.
But for them to park a seaplane there, they need council approval.
Part of their proposal was inside the municipal area, so yes, that's correct.
Yeah. I think the previous application limited the plane to a certain capacity.
Yes. There have been concerns raised from time to time from the community about noise elements, but the application was thoroughly reviewed by our environmental health officers, and the noise information that was provided with the application satisfied them and supported the application.
Councillor Basalt.
Do you know what their intended use is? Just out of curiosity for the seaplane.
Through you, Chair. It's my understanding is that it's a tourist activity. There is a condition on the permit limiting this new aircraft to 6 additional flights per day.
If I may share this sort of additional commentary, Lake Burley Griffin has just approved the first commuter seaplane in Canberra. Just something for council to keep an eye on. To fly from Sydney to Canberra.
There you go. Any other comment or question on?
We're still in time, aren't we?
Any other comment or questions or commentary? No? Okay, with that I'll move that one. Does anybody, sorry, did we have a mover? No, we don't. Would any deputy? Thank you. All those in favour say aye. Against say no. Carried. We'll move on to 7.2 Delegated Decision Report.
So moved.
Thank you. Any comment or questions on those items? Nope. I'll move that. All those in favour say aye. Against say no. Carried unanimously. Part 8 is questions without notice. Are there any questions?
I do have a couple. I've lodged these through the elected member request, but I think there's a benefit to asking them publicly. Look, I'll just note the Planning Minister's criticism of the Council in the media today, alleging that we're blocking development applications that would deliver more housing stock. I also note there's 124 properties converted to short-stay accommodation since July 1st of last year. I'm just wondering, through you, Chair, how many new housing applications has the Council rejected since July the 1st, in that same period that the 124 properties have been converted? Fantastic, thank you. The other question was just about a comment made by the owner of the properties in Smith Street, just saying that one of the reasons she was having to convert to short-stay accommodation was because, and I quote, land tax had risen by almost 300%. Can we just have some information through you, Chair, whether that's an accurate statement about land tax, and just how much land tax has actually risen or fallen, indeed?
Yep.
Clearly you need to take that one on notice, Chair.
Sure. Any other question? Deputy?
Yes, I have a couple of questions in relation to the Tasman Hospital development at 48 to 50 Newtown Road, and it's just in relation to management of environmental hazards. So could the Director please provide information as to what is in place to dampen dust and to screen to minimise particle debris? What has been done to reduce contamination from the former landfill site? I think that was a landfill site there, wasn't it? Or there was contaminated?
I don't know that it was contaminated on the site.
Well, perhaps you could just find out about that, because you remember it was so much higher than the road, and I was under the impression that it was...
it was certainly fuel there, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think, I'm not sure whether it was contaminated or not.
Okay, so what has been done to reduce or contamination, if any, from the former fill at the site? And what asbestos management is occurring during demolition? And how is the Council managing this work plan?
I'll need to take that one on notice.
Director, any other questions? Any from the screen? Nope. Councillor Basalt.
Thanks. I'll just run one question to the Director via you, if that's okay, Chair. Is there anything in the planning scheme that prohibits or prevents entire strata dwellings from being converted to short-stay accommodation?
Look, I'll take that on notice to provide a comprehensive response on that one. Thank you. We have Sean Black here.
Are there any more further questions on notice before we finish up? No? Okay, so questions without notice being done. We'll move back to 6.1.1.
Sean Black.
Mr. Black, do you want to come up to the table there? Welcome, Mr. Black. You'll be able to answer the questions that were asked. I'll ask Councillor Basalt to re-ask it if you can through the chair.
Thanks, Chair. So the question is the existing fire trail that accesses the bottom of Gentle Annie Falls being rehabilitated into bushland?
Correct. That bottom section will. The top section of the fire trail will remain, because they'll still do some planned burns off that section of fire trail.
When you
Through you, Chair, just to clarify, are you talking about R18 fire trail, what's known as R18, or are you talking about the lower fire trail?
The lower fire trail.
Okay. So what section of that will be rehabilitated? I'm just wanting to clarify around fire risk if we're rehabilitating the only fire trail that accesses, the only vehicle access to the bottom of the Gentle Annie Falls area.
So where we have Site 9, there's the fire trail is a dormant fire trail that runs up through there.
Yep.
That section will remain open, and we'll renew that section of fire trail. The top section will remain the same at the moment. The plan is to either use this new trail as a burn line, which it can actually be used for, or we'll retain that top section of the fire trail as a dormant fire trail. So we'll let it grow back in naturally.
Any other questions? No. So I know it was initially moved by Councillor Dutta, but given that we just reopened it, Councillor Dutta, would you like to just... You still happy to move that? Are there any other comments or questions on the item? No? Okay. All those in favour say aye. Against say no. That's carried. So that is the... that is the end of the open agenda. So I'll ask that somebody move that we close the open and open the close. Councillor Harvey, all those in favour say aye. Against say no.